Hello everybody. I'm at the Jackson County Park this morning and I'm out for my morning walk, and I wanted to come down here because this park it's operated by the county of Jackson County, Alabama, and it was leased to this county by the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, many years ago for recreation use of the people of the county. And it's been here for quite a while. It was here when I was a kid, so I know it's been here since about early 50s at least. So I thought I'd come down this morning. The local governing body, the county commissioners, have announced that this summer they plan to completely remodel the park and change it from what it is right now. And I thought it'd be a good idea to come down and maybe make a video documentation of how it is now, and maybe can compare it with after the work is done and it's renovated. They have a lot of extensive plans for making it a better park, and it needs it. The park is old. A lot of things need to be changed about it, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on when they make those changes. Might say that part of the park here is a senior citizen center, which is over behind me there. You can't see it very well, but there's a couple of buildings where the senior citizens of the area have a place to come down and a beautiful place to enjoy life and enjoy the scenery and enjoy each other. And I'm about to start on a little walking trail here. It's a little paved walking trail that runs around through the woods. And today is January 29th, Thursday, January 29th. So we're in midwinter here in Alabama. And all the trees are off of the deciduous, all the leaves are off of the deciduous trees. There's some evergreens around that you'll see, but it's kind of a drab time of the year. It's a beautiful area in the spring here. A gentleman named Vernon Bush keeps up the gardens here just kind of as a hobby and free of charge, and does a beautiful job of it. Anyway, I'll start my walk, and I've got my little GoPro camera out this morning. And this will be the first video that I've made and put up on YouTube with a little GoPro. It's a GoPro4 Silver camera. It's a great little camera, and I'm still getting used to it, and I'm hoping that it'll turn out good. We'll try it and see. If it doesn't, I won't upload it probably. If it turns out decent, I will upload it. And the sun's come out. When I first got up this morning, it was very overcast and gray, but the sun's come out, so it's looking pretty good. The temperature is still down about the 40s, I think. And I think the predicted high for today is about 55 degrees, something like that, so it won't be too bad. And with this sun out, I can feel it warming up pretty good right now. Anyway, I'm on the walking trail, and you'll be able to see this park is surrounded on two sides by the backwaters of the Tennessee River. And this water was backed up when the dam was built by TVA back in the late 30s. There's two creeks that come down in this area. One's called Dry Creek. It comes down on the east side, and one is called Roseberry Creek that comes down on the would be the south side. And they form just a huge lake area back in here by the park. You can probably see some of it back in the background as I walk around. And you'll see the gardens here, but like I say, they're drab and lost all their beauty during the winter time. But this little trail runs around through the woods here, and it's got several little off trails that run. It's paved on the main trail and gravel off on the off trails. But it runs for about a mile around this part of the park. And on the entrance side is a children's playground. And like I was saying, the plan is to change a lot of this. I'm sure they'll leave this walking trail in the gardens, but I've read that they plan already to change out the playground, to modernize the playground. So anyway, I'll walk around this way, and I plan to walk down down by the water, down by the water, and also down by the marina, and let you look at that. And I don't know how many camping sites. Camping around here in camping trailers is a big deal. There's probably 100 camping trailers back in the campground, and you'll see them also as we walk around. Through here you'll see a little creek and some bridges and things like that. And I may have to come back in the spring and show you how pretty all this is in the springtime after the winter drought has left it. But I walked, yesterday I walked about almost 4 miles downtown. I go down and around our county square and some of the old streets down in the downtown part of Scottsboro. And I walked almost 4 miles. And I usually, since I'm not working every day of the week now, I try to get out and get some exercise, which I need very bad. But I enjoy walking, and I know it's good for me. If you ever feel like you need to improve your health, that's the way I recommend is just get out and walk what you can. And as you go along, you'll be more and more able to walk better and farther. Wind's really blowing off the water. That's one thing I've learned about the little camera. I have to, it has a good internal microphone, but if you use it like I'm using it right now outside, if you don't have some kind of windshield, windscreen, you'll probably hear the wind here. It's blowing about 15 miles an hour off the water. But if you don't have some kind of windshield or windscreen, the popping and cracking from the wind is pretty bad. And what I've done this morning, I've run a little microphone cable from the camera down to this little lapel microphone you see on my collar. And the way this wind is blowing, you're probably hearing some popping and cracking. I'm going to move the camera around so you'll be able to see the lake, or I think you would be able to. It's really blowing off the water this morning. And what you'll see out here is called Roseberry Creek and Dry Creek. It's a combine of those two creeks I mentioned a little bit ago. And I'll turn around in a minute. To the south of here, where the camera is looking now, is to the west. Excuse me, to the south. And when I turn around, you'll be looking toward the east across the lake and across the Tennessee River. And I'm new at doing walking and talking, so I guess this will be kind of jerky. Little camera has no stabilization in it, and I've got this thing out on the end of about a 3-foot monopod, and I don't know how steady it's going to be, but I'll have to see when I get back. And I want to turn it around and show you across the river, which is looking to the east, and you'll see an island out there, and you'll also see a rise behind that, which is Sand Mountain. You should have a real good view of the lake there. You can see the waves and the wind breaking on the lake. You also see a few seagulls around. For some reason, now, years ago we didn't have that, but now in the wintertime we have just hundreds of seagulls that come in and spend time on the lake here, and they find bait fish that they can feed on, things like that. So you may see a few seagulls around. We also have blue herons and have some American eagles, some bald eagles in here, egrets, all kind of wildlife. And this lake is heavily fished too. It's a good fishing lake for black bass and crappie, catfish, brim. It's heavily fished, and not too many people out today due to all this wind that's blowing. But anyway, I'm walking down the lakeside here now, and I think you can see over in the background there the island just past the first line of trees you see over there is the river, and then on past the river, that rise you see over there is what is called Sand Mountain, the plateau. Here in the valley, the level of the river is about 600 feet above sea level. If you go to the top of that plateau over there, it goes up to about 1,400 feet. You also might notice they're doing some improvements here already in the park, or did last year and year before. They're trying to get grass to grow down under the trees, and got some better picnic tables. They've got little swing brackets, swing post where you can put a porch swing on it. Back in behind me there, you'll see something they plan to change. That's kind of a maintenance area and a house there for the park manager. And I think they want to clean all this area up and make it more of a public area, more of a useful area for people that want to picnic and enjoy the beauty of the lake and the river. That's probably one of the changes. This wind is really whipping. Yeah, I hope the sound's doing okay on this thing. This little microphone has a pretty good windshield on it, and the wind's kind of coming from my back right now, so maybe that's helping to block the wind. You might see down on the lake shore there some geese. There's all kind of Canada geese in here, all kind of ducks, a lot of waterfowl. We have some big turtles. Turtles in the river. This park is heavily used, like I said before, especially by campers. And just over the last few years, they have built some nice boat docks, marina docks, flips for bigger boats, for houseboats and cruisers. Behind me there, you'll see a little swimming platform. And you can probably hear that wind. It is really blowing. It comes straight off that lake, and it's still got a pretty good chill in it too. It's not too bad out here. As I walk by here, you'll see the boat slips, boat houses. I think they have about 4 here now. They plan to add some more slips for bigger boats when they do the remodel. I'm about to pass a flagpole here. I don't know if you can hear that flag flapping in the breeze or not, but it's standing straight out, shaking the chains. Pretty sure you can hear those chains. We have a little boat and kayak rental place here at the main office. I'm going to walk down behind it. Trying to not shake the camera too bad. I don't know how good I'm doing at it. I used to have a houseboat down there several years ago on this older dock here. I think they call it the shanty boat dock. I'll turn so you can see it, or the old houseboat dock. These are some of the oldest boats in the marina. And I don't know if that old dock there will make it through the renovation or not. Turn back when I was a teenager and in high school, this concrete area you see behind me there was a dance floor. They had a jukebox set up down here, and all the teenagers would come down after school and on the weekend and put quarters in the jukebox and have a lot of dancing fun. Walk around, you'll see some smaller boat slips behind me there, and in front of me here you'll see one when I kind of round the corner. And they have one open dock here. These two docks have entry gates on them, You keep anybody out that's not a boat owner. But there's one right down here that you can walk out on. It's kind of a public dock, so I'll try to go out on it. One thing this little camera does not have is a viewfinder. If you're taking a video of yourself, you can't see where you're pointed directly at yourself or not. It has a viewfinder on the back, but it doesn't flip out and come around to the front. But I have found that you can use your cell phone as a monitor on this little camera. It Wi-Fi's to your cell phone. And they've added something new here, which is very nice. It looks like it's maybe a little kayak or a canoe launch board, which is a good idea, I think. That's what they're using for the kayak rental here, in place to get the kayaks into the water. I guess you could use that as a private individual if you had your own kayak. You'll see the little paddle boards and kayaks in behind me there as I walk out on the dock. This video may not be usable. All this wind blowing. But we'll see. Never hurts to try, I guess. If you don't hear the wind and this strong a wind, the little microphone windshield is really doing its job. You'll see some little boats down here, a little sailboat, some old houseboats and whatever. Like I said, this is a public dock. At one time they had a little restaurant, a pretty good little hamburger joint here at the marina. And it's kind of gone away. People would pull in here with their boats and go up and have a bite to eat. That's kind of gone away. I don't know if that'll come back in the new plans or not. These are some pretty ragged old boats down this dock. And I'm about almost down to the end of it. And I'll turn around and let you see the one on the south side here as I go back up. You're seeing the one on the north side over there. Almost down to the end. I hear those little wind chimes chiming in the wind. Okay, so I'm going to start back the other way. It's kind of serve double purpose. I get to film the park as it is now before they change it, and plus I get my daily walk in. I'm walking kind of slow, trying not to shake the camera any more than I have to. Don't know, this thing's already run on 18 minutes, so it's going to be another long one. Hope it turns out good. But if it doesn't, I've got my walk in. It won't be a wasted trip for sure. There's some old coots out there in the wind. Around here they call those things, they're black. I don't think they're even a duck. It's some kind of waterfowl. Call them water chickens. They look just like a chicken, and they kind of even sound like a chicken. Not good to eat. The old story is around here, how do you prepare a coot for eating? And they say you get his feathers off and clean him, butter up a pine board, put him on a pine board and put it in the oven and bake it for a while. And when you take it out of the oven, you throw the coot away and eat the pine board. Kind of tells you how tender they are, I guess. I'm going to walk out on the end of a dock down here and show you the camping area. I won't walk over in the camping area, but I can show it to you from the end of this dock. There's another little boat down here that I used to own that I sold. I don't know if I can get a picture of it or not. Probably not. It's kind of at the end of the dock there. And I made somebody a promise the other day. I have another houseboat that is down at another park, Goose Pond Resort. And I kind of promised somebody I'd go down and give a tour of my old houseboats. I still have that to do sometime. Just saw a big fish jump in the water there. I guess that was a bass. I'll walk out here and give you a little panorama. And this is a huge campground that they're planning to make bigger. Let's see what I can do about showing it to you. Get this thing turned around here. Show you the mountain over there and come back around to where the I can show you my little old boat over here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. It's called the Joe Marie, and it's an old pontoon houseboat. No telling how old it is. It goes back probably 50 years. I don't know if you can see it very well over there or not. It's right there on the end of the boathouse. It's called Joe Marie, and I named it after the old couple that I bought the boat from. I think they're all both gone on now. But I did some remodeling it, and it was in pretty sad shape when I bought it. But it turned out to be a pretty good little boat. I don't know if you can see the sign on the back there that says Joe Marie. Probably making you seasick the way I'm moving this thing around. Kind of hard to keep it steady when you're turning it around. See if I can see that big blue heron flying there. I probably missed him. I don't know if you can see him or not going down. Might see if we can pick him up when I get over there. Love those old blue herons, one of my favorite birds. They squawk like a dinosaur, like a pterodactyl or something. There. They're fisher birds. They got a long, sharp beak, and they'll attack and get a fish out of the water, flip him up in the air, and every time he'll come down head first so they could swallow him whole. And if it came down tail first, they couldn't swallow him because of the fins protruding out. But they're a smart bird. Get a picture of him here. There he goes flying off a little further. I'm bothering his fishing, so I'll leave him alone. He's probably out trying to get lunch, and it's about lunchtime. Getting a bit hungry myself. And I'll show you the other old houseboat I owned at one time that's down here. This one's out on the very end of that dock. The white one out there with the flag flying on it was one of my houseboats that I sold also before I bought the one I have now. And that's an old boat there. It goes back, I think it was manufactured in about 1967, and it's a steel hull boat. And it had started rusting quite badly on the inside, and I got concerned about it. But it's been 3 years ago when I owned it, and she's still floating okay. So I guess there's no problem with it. I'm walking on the houseboat dock, they call it here, the shanty boat dock. And it was one old shanty boat that's gone from here now. I guess it finally met the end of its life. That I also owned. One of the first boats I bought was an old home-built shanty boat that was down here. and it's gone. It used to sit in this lip here to my left. And I have gone on, looks like 25 minutes. This is going to be a long one if it turns out good enough to upload. We'll see about that, I guess. Caught a lot of fish out of these waters down here. One of the biggest bass I ever caught out of the river was 9.5 pound. Around here, bass go up to, I guess, 15 or 16 pounds now, largemouth bass. Biggest one ever caught's about 9.5, and I turned him loose right there at the end of that dock years ago. Maybe the biggest one I'll ever catch, because I don't fish much anymore. Might be a good reason. And now I'm starting my way back out of this end of the park. The road kind of comes back here and loops around and goes back out. So I'm kind of going back out toward where I first started from. There's still a few things to see along the way. There's a lot of campers down in this area that probably will be moved over into the main camping area when they do their rebuild. And this will be turned back into maybe pretty grass and a general use area. And they're also talking about building several cabins down here for rent. And they say a bike trail, a better bike trail. Several good plans to make it a more enjoyable place to use and visit. This walking and talking at the same time will get you out of breath. And I noticed this morning I've had, I think, about 30 views on my, I think I called it Dark of the Moon video. And I'm playing with my black screen. And I enjoy doing things like that. One thing being on YouTube has done is kept me having to learn some of the newer technology, some of the newer software and such. So it's been good for that. And of course, it's a great way to meet new people, new friends from all over the country and all over the world. So it has a lot of benefits and bonuses. And I'd recommend it to anybody that needed a hobby. It's not hard to start. If you've got an internet connection and a computer, you get a small camera, and there's some free editing software that doesn't cost a whole lot. It doesn't cost a whole lot because it's free, but there's some other software that you can get that doesn't cost a whole lot. I think Microsoft makes a video editing software that comes on your computer, I think, when you buy it, and I think Apple does the same thing. So it's real easy to get started. The hard part is to decide what you want to make in your video that other people might be interested in seeing. And you can put up YouTube videos for private use where nobody can see those videos except people that you give that internet address to. So if you just wanted to make videos for your family, that would be okay. I make mine public because I enjoy the interaction of people that run across them and people that are subscribed to my channel and have been for a long time. Got a pretty good little hill here to go up. And I hear a car coming behind me. I'm going to walk across the road. You can see all the campers down there. And I think the plan is to move all those back in the campground, clear this area up, maybe for some tent campers and such as that. There's also an old cemetery down here that was here before, I guess before the water was backed up, before TVA owned this land, and for sure before the park got here. And I mentioned it because I can see it across the way there. Now, there's a robin. He's acting like it's spring. Got news for him. Not yet. Not yet. I think this cemetery is called the Burgess Cemetery, and a lot of the older cemeteries in this area are named for the family that maybe owned that land and started. There were a lot of family cemeteries, and they named the cemetery after the family. And I'm wondering how my little microphone's going to work out. I had to run a plug up to the side of the camera and then run an extension cable down this shaft that I'm holding, carrying the camera on. It runs up my sweatshirt sleeve and goes up to the little lapel microphone there on the collar. I'm kind of wired for sound. But I found out if you make a video and sound's poor, nobody's going to watch it. It's very irritating to hear bad sound and wind popping and all those kind of noises. And it took me a while to learn that. For a long time, when I started making YouTube videos, I just used the microphone in the camera. And if you put the microphone back the camera back any distance for yourself, or if you had noise in the background or wind blowing, it made some pretty bad audio. Things have changed a whole lot on YouTube. A lot better equipment, not only on the creators, the video makers end, but on the Google, YouTube end too. The servers, I can't imagine what kind of servers they've got to have to serve the amount of video they serve every hour, every minute. And there's just loads loaded up every minute. And it's just a constant battle for them to keep server space, and I'm sure to keep server speeds, but they've done a very good job. Some people have criticized YouTube and Google through the years for different things, changes they've made and things they've done, but for a free service, how can you criticize them at all? Of course, YouTube and Google make a bucket full of money from the videos that are put up, and they pay creators a little bit for the videos they put up. So I guess it's a two-way street. If it wasn't for the people that create videos, they wouldn't have a business, but it is a big business now. And if you notice, there's not too many old wrinkled faces like mine on YouTube, especially up in the top brackets. They're all young, energetic, beautiful kids. And they get most of the views and I guess most of the money that YouTube and Google pays out. That's okay. I found there's still a place for people that don't fit that modern young image. Because there's old people and ugly people around just like me that might want to watch an ugly old guy make a video walking at the park. So it all works out. Another thing I'll have to watch is where the sun is. Like I say, I'm new to this walking and talking type of video. I know if you get the sun at the camera, you get all kind of bad effects on the camera. This will be a learning trip. I may learn that I don't want to do this again. Most of my videos, if you notice, the camera is always on a tripod and stabilize it. And I just stand there or sit there and talk, which is easier than walking and talking. About to place a little playground here, and I'll turn it over so you can see it. This is one thing they plan to completely redo, I think. And this one is old. It was in a different location, and it was put here and moved to here and redone a little bit. But I think the equipment is the same old equipment they had 30, 40 years ago. They plan to improve that. And I think I heard they were going to make a little walking trail right around the playground so that parents that are down here with the kids at the playground, while the kids are playing inside the fence, can get out and get a little exercise walking around the fence. And I thought that was a good idea. Wish I had thought of it, but I didn't. I think the county, our county is governed by 4 or 5 elected officials. They're called county commissioners. When they make decisions on where the county money is spent, kind of the county governing body. And I think they have decided to hire a architectural planner, a park planner, landscape planner, whatever, to help. Matter of fact, they have some plans up already, which I'm sure will change as time goes by. But they plan to start on it this summer, so it'll be interesting to see what comes about. And in our downtown area, there's federal money that the local city has gotten to redo our downtown area, and it needs it. It's like a lot of small towns and southern towns. Bypass was built around the downtown area several years back, and most of the new businesses want to locate out on the highway. So it's left the downtown pretty desolate. Now our downtown, one advantage it has is this is the county seat, so it's downtown is around the courthouse, which has a lot of legal activity. And there's still a few businesses down there. And I have one video I want to make. I helped with the remodeling and renovation of one of the old buildings on the square called the Variety Bake Shop. And when I get a chance, I'll get around and make a video on that. Made a good bit of difference in how the old place looked. And again, these buildings, there's some buildings down there that go back 100 or more years. And I'm just about back to the truck in 38 minutes. And I don't edit my videos a whole lot. I guess depending on how good or bad this one is, what I'll do with it. So I'll take this thing home and offload it, if it recorded, offload it into the computer. And I'm about to get in my old truck back there and go. I'd only live about a half-mile back behind the camera, not very far at all. So it won't take me long to get home. Hope you've enjoyed it. I have. Hope it turned out. And we'll see about that. This is Richard Matthews, Mess About One, saying I'll see you a bit later.